the workshop. Today, we're just going to be learning how to use scripts and specifically how to use them to automate things in our lives. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we have things that we have to repeat over and over and over again. And we just wish, like, oh, I wish there was something that could just do this for me. And that's where scripts come in. They're not necessarily things that you can customize over time. But if there's one specific thing that you have to do over and over again, you can use scripts for them. And a lot of the times you may hear like tech savvy people say, oh, you can just write a script for this, or I wrote a script for that. And at least that's happened to me. And for me, I've never really understood like what a script is and how to make one. And like, I'm assuming that you guys don't know much about scripts either. So that's why I just wanted to share with you guys like how scripts are used and why we use them. Just another thing, like when people think about scripts, they think of these like very like complex pieces of code that people write in order to complete any task. And that's not true. Scripts can be extremely simple to do whatever you want, or they can be complicated. Today we're just gonna look at simple ones. So like don't worry about if you guys don't know how to code that well. We'll go over that as we go. Oh yeah, so I guess before we start, I should introduce myself. So my name's Krish. If you have any questions or want to contact me after the workshop, you guys can email me at krish@youthcomputing.ca or find me on LinkedIn. But enough talking about me. Let's start the workshop. I know some of you have already started downloading these, but if not, just please download Python and AutoHotkey. If you're on Mac, you won't be able to download AutoHotkey, unfortunately, but you can listen in, and throughout the workshop, I'm going to give you examples of other things you can use instead. So I put these links in the chat, so just go ahead and start downloading them. As I keep talking, and then they should be done downloading by the time we start actually making the scripts. So let's talk about what a script is. And in its very bare bones, a script is just a set of instructions interpreted by a program in order to automate a task or a function. And that's it. There's nothing about like a lot of code, or there's nothing about like making it like live in a certain place or running it like X amount of times. This is what a script is. So scripts have a much broader appeal than you think. So today we're going to be looking at two types of scripts called shell scripts and macros. And a shell script is basically just a collection of commands for the shell. And that's what you would see on your command prompt or on your terminal. And you can run things from there. And those are shell scripts. And they're usually used for doing things around your computer, like opening files, printing text, executing programs, things like that. We're also going to be looking at macros. And macros are really cool, actually. They're scripts that simulate keystrokes and mouse movements. So for example, if I wanted to make my mouse move here, click, and open the youth computing website, you see how I just had to do that like manually? Well, I could write a script. When I press one key, it could do that. And that's what's interesting about macros, is that you can see exactly what's happening on your computer when they're running. A really popular use case of macros is actually in the gaming scene. I don't know if any of you play video games, but they're used to make sure that people can do complex combinations of using their keys more efficiently or faster. There are also two more types of scripts that we're not going to be looking at today, and they're just server-side and client-side scripts. And these are more what you'll see on a website. So server-side scripts are the scripts that run when you interact with the website on the server whenever it is needed. So this is things like calling an API or getting information from a server. That's what would happen on a server-side script. A client-side script is actually seen very, very often. And it's scripts that are run on the computer that it's using. So popular examples are actually HTML and CSS. So if I were to inspect this, you can see here, all of this is the HTML of this entire website. But how does it turn this into this? Well, your browser runs this script per se and turns it into this. Also, this is CSS, by the way, and this is HTML. So yeah, these are actually two very popular examples of client-side scripts that are often being used on your computer. But I've done enough talking. The one thing that I want you to remember is when to use a script, right? So scripts are really useful, but the simple saying goes, if you have to repeat it, you can script it. So if you constantly have to close a bunch of windows when you start your computer, well, you can probably script that. Or if you're constantly opening the same application on your computer as soon as you start it, well, you can probably script that. And that's how the saying goes. And you'll see, like, throughout this video, that's what we're really trying to do. So let's get straight into scripting. Can someone just confirm that they've downloaded the prerequisites? Or actually,
Yep.
if anyone hasn't, just let me know. Okay, perfect. So we're actually gonna start with a prank on your friends, like a script to prank your friends. This is also only on Windows, unfortunately, but I'm sending a link for the Mac version, if any of you are on Mac, so that you guys can follow along. And on Windows, what we're gonna be using is a batch file. So batch files are files that are run on your computer straight through the command line. But on Mac, well, because Mac is a different operating system, it doesn't have a batch file. What it has is bash scripts, but we can't really use them for this exact scenario. So on Mac, if you have a Mac, you're going to be using Apple scripts. Okay, so now that we have that done, let's finally make the script. So you can just go into whatever folder you would like. I'm just going to make a new one called Scripting Workshop. And just head into this folder, and it'll be empty right now. And what you're going to see as you go on is that we're not going to be using like heavy code IDEs or anything to do this. All we're going to be using is a notepad, most of the time at least. So are you guys in whatever folder you want to be? I'll assume that's a yes. Okay, so what I would like you to do is right click anywhere inside the folder and then hit click new and then click text document. Okay, and you can name this anything as of right now. Actually, instead of this, what we can probably do is, if you guys have any notepad on your computer, such as this, just open that up directly. It'll be much easier. And before we do anything now, what we want to do is save it as a batch file, because right now it's just a .text file. So how we save it as a batch file is we save it as, and then we can go into whatever folder we want. And then this is the important part. You hit save as type and make sure that it says all files, and then you name it whatever you want, like .bat. And that's the important part, .bat. So I'll let you guys just, I'll give you guys a minute to copy that down. And let me know if you guys have any questions. All right, so I'm just gonna hit save. So here you'll see inside of your folder, you'll see that you have your file, but it's not a text file. It's not in Notepad. It's actually a Windows batch file. And what Windows batch files are, like I said before, are just shell scripts that run on Windows computers. And there's equivalents for Macs as well. All right, so here we have our script, and here's how we edit it. If, for example, you close this by accident, you cannot double click this to run anymore. Okay? What you have to do is right click it and then press edit, and that's how you can open it. Okay. So what we're going to do for this batch file is we're just going to prank our friends. And this is where a bit of coding comes in, but it's not going to be that hard actually. So first of all, what we're going to do is turn echo off. So that's just notifications that'll pop up. So this is how you do that. So just echo off. And then all we need to do is write message prompts. So you can write a message that your computer has been compromised. And then after that, you can write to remove the virus, click OK. All right, and then this is all we need in order to do this prank. So now we can save it. All right, and now if we double click this batch file again, you can see I get a notification that says your computer has been compromised. And then if I press again to remove the virus, click OK. And right here, it just says message from Krish Shah. That's just whatever computer you're on, so you don't have to worry about that when you're pranking your friends. So that's pretty much it. And then you can do more things from this. Like you can create a loop. You can make much more of these. And that's pretty much it for how you're going to prank your friends. And that's the interesting thing. We only usually use one line of code over and over again. So we can continue to copy and paste this. And then we can say your hard drives are being formatted. And we can also say Windows has been cleaned. Like whatever you want, really, like in order to like have a fake sort of virus persona. And you can just save it, and whenever you run it, you'll see all of your messages. So can someone just let me know if they got that much? Did that work?
For me, it just opens. It just opens like a CM. It opens a little CMD, and then it just closes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the same issue.
Did you turn echo off?
Yeah.
CMD and then closes. Do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. You can share your screen now.
You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scripts. That's literally it. It does nothing.
Did you save this?
Yeah, I saved it as scripts. And
but did you save it again once you edit it?
Yeah, I did. Control S.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, here. Let's do something else. Here, can I share my screen again, Neil?
Yeah, sorry.
Another way that you can make a script is one way of making a script is in a Windows batch file. But another way you can make a script, at least in Windows, is through using something called VB scripting. And that's a scripting language that was developed by Microsoft in order to script. So once again, we can make a new notepad. So I have a new notepad here. Okay. And then I'll just save it as, once again, I'll do all files. And then now I'll do script.vbs. Okay, so this is VB scripting, and it's a scripting language that was developed by Microsoft. So let's try this. So once you give that a save, you can see this icon will appear. And the same way you can right click it and edit it. And the syntax for VB scripting is a little bit different. So I'll just go ahead and show you that. So the way you show a message is by doing X equals, and then a message box. And then inside you have to put quotes, and then you can just write whatever, right? Like formatting hard drive. And then just write 0 plus 64 and then quotes again, just write Windows. All right, so once you save this by pressing Control S, or you can just save it from here. Once you run this script, it should show a different type of notification, but it's still a notification. It says formatting hard drive. So did that work for anyone as opposed to the command prompt?
Yeah, it does.
This works?
Yep.
All right, perfect.
What was the difference?
They're both, for this function, they're essentially the same. But VB scripting is more of a scripting language, and Windows batch files is directly the command line. So whatever you type in the command line can be typed here in a Windows batch file, but in a VB script file, it has its own language.
Oh, so the batch file basically just lets you put it into a text document or into the document
terminal,
rather than a CMD.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, can you say that again?
Or what's it called? Instead of having to type it in terminal, you can type it in like a document and then run it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So now that we have that, how would you prank your friends with it? Well, there's a lot of ways to prank your friends. You can run this at the start of a computer. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a shortcut. So let's say we can send this to our desktop by creating a shortcut. Okay, so just right click it, hit send to, and then desktop. Okay, and then once you go to your desktop, you can see that you have a shortcut of your script. It has to say like script and then dash shortcut. And then now, first of all, you can rename it. So I'm just gonna rename it Internet Explorer. I know none of us use it because we're not 90 years old, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we'll just use that because I have the icon and you guys probably will too. So now I can right click this file and then hit properties. Oh, sorry. That's my bad. I believe it only works for batch files. But yeah, do the same with your batch file. And then you can go to properties. And then somewhere here. Okay, sorry, change icon. Yeah. So once you hit change icon, you can see icons here. So I'm just gonna look for the Internet Explorer icon. So I see it right here. And then if I hit OK and apply, it will have the Internet Explorer icon. And then you can just rename it Internet Explorer. Sorry, I'm just gonna delete this one. So let's say your friend is trying to open Internet Explorer for some reason. So they just double click here oh, my computer has been compromised. And then all these things will pop up. So that's just one way to prank them. There's other ways to put it at the startup of a computer or whatever. But you can research that on your own time. But now you know how to make a very simple batch and a VBS script. So now we're gonna move on to something everybody can do, which is make a script from Python. So can everyone open Python? I usually open my IDLE, but anyway, you guys like know how to open Python, and then you can create a new file from here. So sorry, once again, I went a bit too fast, but if you press IDLE in your search bar, you should get Python if you already installed it. And then once you click it, you'll get this window, and you can say File, New File, and then here's going to be your new file. Okay, we're just going to save it before we do anything. So save as, and then we can go into our scripting folder, and we'll just say this script is going to be to download YouTube videos directly from your desktop. So we'll just say it's YouTube DL. Okay. All right. Now, before we do any of this script is going to be using a module or a library that we don't already have on our computers. So the way to install that for Python is if you go into your command prompt. So if I type in cmd, enter, and I'll get my command prompt right here. Now, if you've installed Python and you have above Python, I believe 3.4, you should be able to just type in pip install pytube3. Now, I already have this installed, so it's just going to tell me requirement already satisfied. But you guys can go ahead and do the exact same thing. So open your command prompt by typing in cmd, and then type in pip install pytube3, just like that. And let me know if any of you have troubles with that.
For me, it says pip is not recognized as an internal or external command. Don't you have to install pip?
It should come with Python. Did you already have it installed?
Pip, no. Or Python, yes. Python or Python-m pip install.
Yeah, pip install pytube3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had the same issue too. It also said that it also said pip is not recognized as an internal or external command. So
yes, so try what Dhwani said. Python-m pip install pytube3.
It doesn't work for me. It says Python is not recognized as an inter. What did I do?
Yeah, you're gonna have to add Python to the path.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that right now. So
install. Okay.
So if you search up path inside your search bar, then you can see edit the system environment variables. So you can just click on that right here. And then you'll see your environment variables. Okay. And then you'll see path right here. And then you can edit that. So yeah, I already have Python in my path. But to add it in your path, all you have to do is search up Python again. And then you can right click right here, like the app Python itself, not the IDLE, but Python itself. You can right click to open its file location. And once again, you have to right click and open its file location. And then now that you have this right here, you can you can right click this top bar right here and then copy address. And if you go back, you can create a new environment variable and paste that. And paste that, and then it should be fine. So once I hit OK, does it work for you now? If you type in Python, does it go to does it open up Python in your command prompt?
I type of Python, no, it's still not working. I don't know what I'm in. Environment variables, path. Yeah, I
Wait.
did it.
Krish, do we want to let Neil share his screen?
Yeah, sure. Just one more thing. You can add /scripts with the capital S. Not sure if that'll work. Here, Neil, you can share your screen. Is
Okay,
anyone
I'm
else having the
sharing.
same issue?
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the little. I created a new one, Python 3. This is the path
Okay,
for
okay,
it.
yeah. So you have to go back into your folder for it. Yeah, so you're in the start menu. So right click that again. Oh, sorry. Go back to where you were. So right click the Python app, the app.
This one or this one?
One below it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right click that and open that file location. So press open file location.
Oh, I gotta copy this one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, sorry.
Is anyone else having the same issue? Sean, does yours work now?
Oh yeah, it's good now.
It's good now? Okay. So try it now.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So many tabs open. How do I mean?
All right,
I know,
perfect. Just type exit and then 2 brackets. Okay.
Works.
All right, perfect. So does anyone else have any problems or are we good for now?
Python-m install YouTube 3.
I'm having the same thing as Neil.
Did you install it in your did you put it in your path?
Yeah,
Do you want to share your screen?
yeah, just 1 second.
All right, perfect. Open your CMD. Yeah, just type in Python. Okay. Can I see your
Maybe
path?
Python 3.
Your environment variables?
What do I type for environment variables again?
Just type in path. Yep, and then it's the top one. And then hit environment variables down there. Yep. Yes. So let's see. Yeah, I did it. Yeah. Okay. So you did the same thing as Neil. So go into your folder again. So right now you're in the start menu folder. So if you right click that and open file location. So yeah, you have to left click it first. Yeah, and open file location. Now paste this folder inside. So right click it and copy the address and paste that and make a new environment variable for that. All right, perfect. Now restart it. Oh, sorry, I think you have to hit OK. Okay. Right. Okay, let's restart it.
Yo, Krish,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
when I installed PyTube, it told me what's it called? The script PyTube 3.exe is installed in like Python 30 or 3.8 / scripts, which is not on path.
Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But it's installed, right?
Yeah.
I think that should be fine. If it's not, well, we can add that to the script as well. So I'm just gonna present my screen again. Okay, while I'm trying to figure that out, I'm just gonna send some code in the chat. And then you can add that to your Python script. Right there. You can add that to your Python script and try running it and see if it works.
Asks you for the link to the YouTube video.
Yeah, so just find any YouTube video and click the link. All right, perfect. So I can present my screen again. Awesome. So I'll do the same. I'll copy that code and add it. So this is the code for anyone who wasn't able to see it. And I'll just quickly run through it. So this code, all it does is import that PyTube module from earlier. So from PyTube, we'll import its YouTube library, and then we'll just import it as YouTube. So when we write YouTube, it links to that. So then the first thing we want is the link to the YouTube video. So to get the link to the YouTube video, we'll declare it's a variable, and then just use this input command to ask for that link. And then we'll just put that link in the YouTube class from PyTube. And then this is the main line right here. So what that line does is it gets that link and then opens streams. So streams are every single type or format of that video. Then it's filtering it using these properties. So it's to make sure it's progressive, to make sure it's an MP4 file, and it's a resolution of 720p. The reason we're doing that is just for a quick download, just for the workshop, but you guys can obviously change that if you need to.
Quick question.
Sorry?
What does the progressive part do?
Progressive? It's just a file type for YouTube videos. Like a YouTube video can be progressive. I believe it's like when audio and video are in one file. Okay. And then you can also do resolution. And then once it filters that, you'll take the first thing that you find in that filter and you'll download it. And then we'll just say it downloaded that. So if we run it like this, it'll ask for a link to the YouTube video, and we can just get any YouTube video. We'll just get this one. We can get a link for that. We'll copy it, and then we can paste that link right here. And then when we hit enter, it says downloading, and it'll download in whatever directory this script is in. So let's say I'm in scripting workshop, so it downloaded right here. So I can click about welcome, and here's that video right there. So now every time you want to download a video, you can just come here, and you don't even have to open the shell or your file itself. But you can just hit YouTube DL, double click it. You can paste whatever link you want. Let's try show one. Let's try this. Okay, we can paste that link, hit enter, And then once it tells us that it's downloaded, or once it closes, sorry, we can see that we have that video on the computer itself.
Can you do that one more time, like opening it from CMD?
So you don't have to open it from CMD. If you just double click the Python script, it'll open it in CMD, or it'll open it in Python. It's not in CMD.
So you've just joined a Vex team. Maybe you're a freshman and this is your first.
Yeah,
Alright.
thank you.
All right, perfect. Okay, so all right. So now that we've done this one, another quick Python script that we can write is a bulk file renamer. So we can create a new Python script by doing the same thing, opening Python IDLE, and then making a new file. Okay. And then we'll just save this new file into whatever place we want. So I'll just save it into scripting workshop. And then I'll name it file rename .py. Make sure it's a Python file. Once I hit save, I have it right here. So I'll send you guys the code again, but what this is gonna do is instead of having to if you download a bunch of files and you have to rename them, then you don't want to have to do them one by one manually. Hopefully we can write a script in order to rename them all at once. So here I have a bunch of test pictures that I want to rename. Okay. So and make sure you have the address of this. Like make sure it's accessible. So once you have this folder of test images or whatever you want, right? I'll just send the code, and we'll run through it while you guys are copying it down or copying and pasting it. So that's going to be the code. I sent it in the chat. And we'll just run through it very quickly. So import OS. OS is another library or module that is already native to Python. That's why we didn't have to download it like we did for PyTube. And then we created a folder path. And this R is just here so that the backslashes don't interfere with whatever file location we need. So here's where you would put your folder path, in between these two apostrophes or quotation marks. Okay. So now that we have a folder path, and we'll write a quick for loop. And what a for loop is just going through every single thing in a list. So for this example, it's for file name in os.list directory, and that directory is folder path. Okay, so what it's actually doing is it's just going in this folder, and for each file in this folder, it's going to do these things. Okay, so it's gonna os.rename, so it's just gonna rename, and then you have to put your folder path, then 2 backslashes. That's just the syntax of how it's going to rename it. Then the file name. So this is the thing that it's going to rename, and this is what it's going to rename it to. So it'll take this, and remember, so it's for file name in the list directory. So for each file name, it's going to replace it with this. So once again, the folder path, then 2 backslashes. Then let's change this to script workshop. And we have to have a way to differentiate them. So then we'll also add a number. So I just have file number 1 right here, and we'll turn that into a string. and then we'll add whatever the extension of the file is. So all of my files are PNGs. So I'll just add .png. And then every time this is completed, I'll add 1 to file number. So I can do it. It can have script workshop 1, script workshop 2, script workshop 3, and so on and so forth. I know I went through that pretty fast, and it's kind of complex. Does anybody want me to like re-explain that, or does everyone understand what it does? So make sure when you're running this, you have whatever folder you want right here in the folder path. So once again, the way you do that is you copy this address and then you paste it right here. Okay, and then once we save this, we can run it. So if I were to run it, once you get these 3 arrows, that means it's done. And now you can see I have script workshop 1, script workshop 2, and so on and so forth. Okay? And it goes on. So that's a way to bulk rename files. Does anyone have any questions for that one? I know I breezed through that very, very quickly, but it's just another example of a script we can make in Python. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll add these I'll add all these code snippets to the slides once the workshop's done.
Wait, Devani, you could also try putting it in the YouTube video or something in like the comments or description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to rename all my files to
All right, perfect. So now that we got this working, sorry. Oh yeah. Make sure you have the proper directory.
Wait. What was the prank?
You
So
rename
if you just write D here, then every single
every single thing is gonna get
Oh
the same thing. So essentially
You're
it's
pretty much
impossible to like.
screwed.
yeah, okay.
Wait, is there any way to revert that or no?
Yeah.
Revert? Well, yeah, you can just revert as to whatever the original files were.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
look,
like-
if you did like D, right? Like you know how you said like if you just put the path as D, so that we would rename every single file. Can you rename it to its actual
Whatever they
name?
were. I'm not sure. There might be a way.
There might be a way,
There
guys.
might.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how you go about doing that.
When you actually renamed all your files to these nuts.
Alright.
Yeah,
So
but it's not
now that
your
we
computer.
have these Python scripts done, they're really easy. Now you know that like they're really easy to do and they're actually useful. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had to rename a bunch of files, and I wish I just had this quick script to run. And like again, if I change this back to test and save it, you don't even have to open this file. You can go into your folder and you can double click this, and then as soon as I double clicked it, that script ran. And then if I go back to my rename folder, then you can see it's test 1, test 2, test 3, and so on and so forth. All right, so now that we did that, we're gonna get to, I guess, my most favorite part, which is auto hotkey. And what auto hotkey is it's going to be playing with macros, so your keystrokes and your mouse clicks. So once again, everyone can just create a new notepad file, right? Okay, and then we'll save this notepad file as all files, okay? And then we're just gonna make this shortcuts .ahk. Now you've had to download auto hotkey for this. So is there anyone who didn't have the chance to download AutoHotkey yet? Perfect. Everyone has. That's great. So yeah, just make shortcuts.ahk. Make sure this is all files and not just text documents. And then once we save it, we can go back to that one spot, and you'll see that it has the icon is H, and then it says type AutoHotkey script, and that's how you know that you did that properly. So once we're back here, I'm not going to show you exactly how to make a script, but I'll just show you all of the quick functions that AutoHotkey has to offer, so that you can use it whenever you want. So now that we have this, the first thing I'll teach you guys how to do is make a hotkey. So all you have to do is get any key. So let's say we'll use the L key, and put 2 semicolons after it, and there we go. That's the hotkey. Obviously, we don't want this to run every time we press L. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write control. So this is the syntax for control, and then Alt is an exclamation mark L. So every time I press Control Alt L, it will do whatever is after these colons. Just before we do anything else, just put a return right at the bottom so it knows when to stop the program, to stop the script. All right, perfect. So now we can run whatever we want. So let's say we want to run another notepad file, right? So we can literally type run and then notepad. And this is why AutoHotkey is one of my favorites, is because it's very simple to pick up and learn. So as soon as I save this, sorry, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just had a question. So if we, when we put notepad, right? If we put a link there, would it run the link?
Oh, right here?
Yeah, instead of notepad.
Yeah, it would. Here, actually, we can do that. We can type run. Oh, we have to put in quotes, I think. All right. But before we run it, we have to make sure the script itself is running. Okay? So if I go here, I can double click this shortcut script, and you'll see a little green H pop up in your taskbar. Okay? And that little green H is going to be your shortcuts. Script. So now, every time I type in Control, Alt, and L, oh, sorry. Here, let me try this. Might not need quotes.
It worked for me.
It did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay,
you
so
do need the quotes though.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For me, I didn't need the quotes. Maybe you guys will. So every time I type Control Alt L, it'll open a new Google tab, and we can go to whatever website we want. So, for example, we can go to youthcomputing.ca. We can save it, and then every time you save a change in here, you have to reload this script. So right-click and reload. Okay. So now if I type Control Alt L, it'll go to youthcomputing.ca. Okay. So that's one thing. It can run websites or applications on your computer. And the way to open them is if you have the location of the application, same way you just get the address and then you type it in here /Python or whatever you need. Okay. So now that we know how to do that, let's try inputting keystrokes. So let's see all that code that I had, that I sent. Okay. What if I just want, if I'm writing that code a lot, what if I just want a shortcut for that? So all I have to do is type, oh, that might be a little different, but for this case, all I have to do is type send and put a comma, and then type whatever I want. So, hello, my name is Krish, and I am talking right now. So if I go ahead and save it, I just press Control S. Now I have to reload the script. Okay. Now now I can do it right here. Control Alt L, and it types this all out for me. Okay. What's gonna be cool is you can also like put in other keys, like for example the Enter key. Right. So I just saved it, and I'll reload it again. And now every time I press Control Alt L, it'll do that, and it'll press Enter once. So that's another way to do a shortcut. We can also send clicks. Okay, so the way to send clicks is gonna be this click function right here. And then you're gonna do the X and the Y. But how do we know what the X and Y is? The way to do that is by going into your script and right-clicking it, and then clicking Windows Spy. Okay, so once you have Windows Spy, click on whatever window you want to go on, and then you can see the mouse position right here. Okay, so let's say I want to open a new tab. I want to click on this new tab button. Default, it's on the window, but you can change it to your screen or your client or whatever. But if I want to click on this new tab button right here, I'm just going to take note of whatever mouse position I have. So whatever this is. Okay? Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to keep track of whatever the mouse position is. So if I click right here, that mouse position is 755 and 26. Can you guys see that? Can someone confirm?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, you guys can see that? Perfect. So if it's 755 and 26, I can go ahead and write 755 and 26. I can save it, and once again, I have to reload the script. Now, every time I press Control Alt L to click that place and make a new tab, no matter where my mouse is, it will always click that place. Okay? Now, because what I said earlier, if you have to repeat anything, you can script it, right? So is there anything in this workshop that I've been, or at least in this section, that I've been repeating over and over again that I can probably script? Any ideas? I'll give you a hint. Every time I change this file, what do I do?
File. I don't know.
Oh, like
Control
when you wanna to a specific convert to a specific file type. Like, we've been changing all of the Notepad files from text to various other forms. So like you could try to script that.
Yeah, you can definitely script that. I was actually talking more about every time we changed this auto hotkey script, we'd have to go here and then reload it.
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah. You could script it, so then you don't always have to.
Yeah, you can definitely script it, exactly. So
Yeah.
we can make a new hotkey, right? And then we'll just do Control Alt X, okay? And then what this one will do is it will reload the script, okay? So this is the function for reloading. It's really simple, just reload. I can save it, and I'll reload this script one last time in order to save that one change. So now I can change this to send.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't this mean that you have a shortcut for like another shortcut?
Yeah, it's a shortcut section.
Yeah.
So I can change this to send hello. Then I can press Control S to save it, and then Control Alt X to reload this script. So now, if I press Control Alt L, it'll just type hello. So now we literally found out something that we constantly repeat, and then we just made a script for it.
Wait, so this means you won't have to click the reload button every time for like the hotkey thing?
Yeah, you won't. All you have to do is press Control Alt X.
Control. Oh yeah.
And then you can definitely there's probably ways to make it so that every time you make a change and save it. Actually, yeah. So let's say for saving we press Control S, right? So then why not every time we save we can reload as well? So I can just make Control S to this one, to this hotkey, to this shortcut. And then if I make Control S this one, and every time I just press, I'll have to reload it for this one because we changed it. But now every time I press Control S, it will both save it and reload it. So hello, my name is Krish. I press Control S. Oh, unfortunately it overrides that, but
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it overrides your regular save function, unfortunately. But that's a good way to think. Like, every time you repeat something, so we were doing it when we were making the script itself. You always have to check. You can always script it if you're repeating it. And that's pretty much it for the presentation today. Yeah, so there are a couple of other resources I'll link to in the slides once I put them up. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something about scripting and automating like boring things that you guys have to do anyways with scripts. I know it's something I'll definitely be using. Whenever I'm repeating something, I'll definitely just try and use it. But yeah, so does anyone have any questions about what we learned, or did something not work, or any comments, anything like that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, you know when we wrote that scripting thing, right? Like, is there any way that, like, you know how you did send, but then it would only print on the notepad file? Can you make it?
Oh, no, sorry. So we have a shortcut, right? So let's say I wanted to, right here, I want to do the same thing. So I can press Control Alt L, and then it'll type that here as well.
Oh, so that's where your cursor has to be.
Well, your cursor doesn't have to be there, but for this example, like if I just press Control Alt L here, it'll just try and type something, right? But it has to be have somewhere to type. So I just click this area.
Oh.
But you can definitely, like, that's actually a good example. Really quickly, what we can do is we can get our mouse to click here itself, and then enter, and then send, and then press enter, and then click our mouse away. And that same script with whatever I just taught you. Do you understand how you would go about doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, how'd you press like for the, you know how you have like, you can press X, like any of the letter keys, how would you press enter?
Right, so
you press the little curly brackets thing?
Yeah, so you press the little curly brackets, and then you can type enter. So
okay.
Let's say I just did, I'll just save it with Control S and then Control Alt X to reload. And now if I press Control Alt L, it goes directly to youthcomputing.ca. Any other questions? All right, perfect. Thanks for having me. I hope you guys really did learn something. It's something I'm pretty interested in, scripting. And as long as you try and find places to use it, trust me, scripting will really, really cut like useless time out of your life.
Did you finally figure out the one for like grabbing your roll? Or whatever?
Yeah, I did. I'll show you that in a bit.
Yeah, send it to me, please.
Okay. Well, it's going to be different for every computer, but I'll teach you if you want later.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. Any other questions? Perfect. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good day.
Thanks.